Y'all, have y'all ever sat in the car before work and just stared? Like, literally stared at the steering wheel, asking yourself, why does this feel like it's draining my soul? Because honestly, people love to say, oh, just find a healthy work environment, find a non toxic corporate job. Not all workplaces are bad, but in my opinion, non toxic corporate jobs do not exist. Now, before people run to the comments saying, well, my company is amazing, just give it time because the toxicity in corporate America doesn't always show up as somebody screaming at you. Sometimes sometimes it comes dressed in professionalism. Sometimes it comes with a smile. Sometimes it comes in an email saying just circling back, or quote unquote just circling back. When what they really mean is drop everything and prove your worth now. And let's talk about the stress of fake urgency, because why is everything a damn emergency? Why does every email feel like the building is on fire? Why does every Slack message come with this energy of ASAP? Need this immediately? Can we hop on this call right quick? And then you realize it's not urgent at all. It was just fake pressure, manufactured stress. It's a way to keep everybody in a constant state of anxiety, because anxious employees are easier to control. And let's be honest, if they keep you feeling behind, keep you feeling scared, keep you feeling like one mistake means you're disposable, you stay compliant and you overperform and you answer emails off the clock, you skip lunch, you don't use your PTO, and that's exactly what they want, because fake urgency creates emotional ownership over your time. Now tell me in the comments if your job ever made something seem life or death only for it to suddenly not matter the next day. Because that right there, that's psychological wear and tear. And let's talk about one of the most disrespectful parts of corporate life. Training people who make more than you. Now, can we talk about that? So how are you asking me to train somebody, teach them the system, show them the workflow, help them avoid mistakes, and then I find out they're making more money than me? And be honest, have you ever had that happen? Because that kind of thing doesn't just hurt financially. It messes with your sense of worth. And it makes you question whether hard work is even rewarded nowadays. Sometimes the people doing the actual heavy lifting are the ones being underpaid. Meanwhile, the new hire can come in with a better package. And sometimes it's because they negotiated. Sometimes favoritism, sometimes optics. Sometimes because companies only pay more when they're desperate. Sad to say. And that breeds resentment. Now, here's a part nobody wants to say out loud, but sometimes you're training the person who is secretly replacing you. Let that sink in. And they tell you it's for support. They say, oh, we just need more help on the team. Whole time they're preparing your exit. And you don't find out until weeks later. That kind of betrayal creates trust issues in the workplace, because now every time someone new walks in, you're wondering, am I training support or my replacement? Just comment below if you've ever had that feeling. Like, this is a safe place here to touch base on, this kind of behavior in the workplace. Because corporate jobs love to make you feel secure while moving pieces behind the scenes. And let's talk about ownership, because sometimes it feels like these jobs don't want your labor. They just want you. They want access to your mind even after you clock out. They want your weekends mentally occupied. They want your evenings spent anticipating tomorrow's stress. They want you checking Teams messages at 10 p.m. They want you feeling guilty for having a life. Why does taking time off feel like asking permission to be human? Why does requesting PTO come with side eyes? Why do they make you feel like your absence is an inconvenience? You earn that time. Yet somehow they make it feel like a personal offense, as if resting means you're not committed. No, it means you're a person. This culture of making employees feel guilty for rest is insane, especially when companies preach work life balance. Please. If work life balance was real, why are people afraid to use their days off? Why do people feel the need to explain themselves? I need time off because. No. I need time off because it's mine. And let's get into workplace competition, especially when you're a woman, because sometimes the hardest part isn't the workload. Sometimes it's the environment, and sometimes it's dealing with women who center everything around male validation. Whew. 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 Now, I know that's going to hit somebody. You ever walk into a workplace and instantly feel tension from another woman? And you haven't even done anything wrong. Sometimes it's because in male dominated spaces, women are conditioned to see each other as competition. Competition for visibility, competition for approval, competition for who gets listened to, competition for who gets promoted, competition for male attention. And that creates toxic dynamics, passive aggression. It creates backhanded compliments, information withholding, and smiling in your face, but moving funny behind the scenes. And tell me I'm lying. So this is work. This is why some work environments feel emotionally exhausting, because you're not just doing your job. You're navigating politics. And don't even get me started on performative friendliness, the fake smiles, the fake quote unquote we're a family. Because let's pause there, because whenever a job says we're one big family, I honestly get nervous, because family is often code for blurred boundaries, meaning expected loyalty, emotional manipulation, guilt for leaving, guilt for setting boundaries. A job is not family. A job is an exchange. I provide labor, you provide compensation. That's it. The moment companies start expecting emotional devotion, it gets dangerous. And can we talk about control? Because sometimes corporate culture feels like a polished version of ownership, tracking your time, monitoring your productivity, questioning every bathroom break, watching your status light, measuring your worth in metrics, numbers, in call times, sales quotas, response times. As if human value can be reduced to a dashboard. And it can start to feel in a way dehumanizing. And that's why so many people feel mentally exhausted. It's not always the work. Sometimes it's the environment, the surveillance, the politics, the pressure. You know, the feeling that you're never doing enough, even when you're overperforming. And the scariest part, people normalize it. People wear burnout like a badge of honor. They say things like, oh, I haven't taken a day off in months. Or, I was answering emails on vacation. Child, who? Who? That's not success. That's conditioning. And what I want to ask y'all, and I want to ask y'all this. At what point did we accept suffering as professionalism? Drop your worst corporate experience in the comments, because I really want this to be a conversation, because too many people are silently dealing with toxic work culture and blaming themselves. And sometimes it's not you. Sometimes the environment is really draining. Now, I'm not saying every workplace is evil, but I am saying that toxicity can exist in subtle ways. Ways people don't talk about enough. So tell me, have you trained someone making more than you? Have you ever felt replaced? Does your job create fake emergencies? Do they guilt trip time off? Have you dealt with workplace competition? Let's talk. Because I know I'm not the only one who feels this way.